Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video will feature a summer makeup look focusing on glowing skin, a bronzy eye, and bold lip. You guys know how I feel about Armani Beauty. I'm a huge fan of the brand and I want to share the love, so I'm going to be picking 3 random winners to receive the Luminous Silk collection and get shade matched by me. I want to give a big thank you to Armani Beauty for sponsoring another one of my videos and for allowing me to do this giveaway. So make sure to make it to the end of this video to figure out how to enter. You guys are going to love playing with this line. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and tag me on IG when recreating my work so you can get reposted. Keep watching to learn this look and to enter the giveaway. Good luck. So today I'm gonna be filming with my girl, Megan Wiggins. She's one of my model friends. Make sure to check her out on Instagram and I'll leave her handle right here. For skin prep, I'm gonna be using my Armani Prima Glow On Moisturizing Cream. You guys have seen me use this so much on my channel because I just love the way that this preps the skin. It really smooths out any texture, hydrates the skin, but it also doesn't weigh the skin down, which is really important when we're prepping for that summer skin because we just want to make sure that the skin feels lightweight, luminous, and glowy. To base the eyes for eyeshadow, I'm going to go in with my Luminous Silk foundation in the shade 5.2. And the brush that I'm using for this is my Armani foundation brush. It's the exact same brush that I'm going to be using to apply the foundation with. For this eyeshadow look, I'm going to be using my collab with Buxom Cosmetics, the Holm palettes. And we're really going to be focusing on these beautiful warm and neutral brown tone shades. I'm just going to get my brush a little bit damp and focus on using the shade Stacks right on the lid. Using a small shader brush, I'm just going to start pushing this into the eyelid. You can apply the shadow wet or dry. That's what I love about these foiled shadows. I kind of wanted a more glossy effect on the lid, so that's why I decided to go in with my brush a little bit damp. Using a blending brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Unfiltered and just focusing on the outer corner of the eye, making large circular motions. And as I move to the brow bone, I'm really softening up my pressure just to make sure that it looks nice and faded. So using a really light touch, I'm just making sure that I bring this eyeshadow all the way inward to kind of blow this out and contour the inner corners of the eyes for a really nice warm type of look. And I'm also bringing this on the corner of the lid as well, just to softly smoke this out a bit. To add a little bit more depth in the crease, I'm gonna go in with the shade Teddy. What do you guys think? Did I color match his shade pretty well? I think so, pretty good. It's perfect. Using a more tapered brush, I'm going to be focusing on the outer corner of the eye and just really being mindful of my placement. I definitely don't want to bring this up too high. I want to keep it pretty deep into the socket of the eye. Just making really soft motions, going back and forth, starting in the outer corner, but I'm also bringing this towards the inner corner of the eye just to smoke it out just a bit. Next, I'm going to be going in with the shade Rich Rich. I'm using a really small detailed brush and I'm basically just kind of like smudging Rich Rich along the lash line. I always like to start off by putting all my focus on the outer corner so that way this line is kind of going from thick to thin. So you can slowly start working your way towards the inner corner. And then I'm slowly going to start bringing this into the crease just ever so softly just to add a little bit more depth. So I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and remove some of this excess eyeshadow fallout right here. To highlight the brow bone, I'm going to be going in with the shade Iconic and just lightly sweeping this right underneath the brow hair, just to give the brow bone a little pop. I'm going to be going back to skin prep, and this time we're going to be using the Luminous Silk Hydrating Primer. I always like to do primer right before I do foundation just to make sure that we really smooth out the T-zone. Just working this in with my fingertips, bringing this above the brows, down the bridge of the nose, sides of the mouth, to really smooth out those pores right before we put on any foundation. Unlike other primers that I've used, this one does not ball up on the skin, which is really nice because it lays so smooth. It truly does make the most amazing primer underneath any foundation. It also contains shea butter and glycerin, which keeps the skin nice and hydrated and smooth. And I would definitely recommend this primer if you have oily skin too. It works well for all skin types. To give Megan's skin more of a lit from within glow, I'm going to be using my Luminous Silk foundation in the shade 6.25. And using my Armani blender brush, I'm basically just starting at the jawline and then bringing this in an upward direction. A little bit goes such a long way. It is more on the lightweight side, but I do find that this foundation is buildable. And I would definitely recommend this for all skin types. You guys have seen me use this so much on my channel. It truly has been an iconic staple in my kit for years, and it just never fails me. You can never go wrong with Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. Always want to make sure that you blend this down to the neck. Another thing that I really love about this foundation is that it actually blurs imperfections on the skin. So you really get such a flawless texture. To contour and shade the skin, I'm going to be going in with my Luminous Silk Concealer in the shade 10. Normally I would not go directly on the skin with a wand like this because I feel like it does indent the foundation, but in this case it does not because this formula is really silky smooth. It also does not crease or cake up on the skin. It's very hydrating and luminous. And then just using the same brush, I'm just gonna use a downward direction and sculpt and shade the face. And if you ever need a little guide as to where to start your contour, you can just use the top of the ear as a guide and then angle that towards the apples of the cheeks. And then I'm gonna create another line right underneath the jawline and then just blend this out right underneath the jawline and also right above it. So that way there's no line of demarcation and everything looks nice and seamless. If you struggle with cream contour, I would definitely try the Luminous Silk concealers to contour with because they just blend so seamlessly and so easy. You really don't have to blend too much. Just following the shape of her hairline, I'm just gonna start shading in a downward direction. And this is also bringing back some really nice color back into the skin, giving us that really beautiful warm summer glow. And as you can see, it just blends like a dream every time. So easy to use. I'm just gonna kind of bring this around the sides of the nose and into the brow hair. To conceal and highlight, I'm gonna be going in with my Luminous Silk concealer again, but this time in the shade 5. I'm gonna bring this down the bridge of the nose, also right underneath the lips, sides of the mouth, sides of the nose, and a little bit on the forehead just to bring back some light. So I'm just starting off by blending this right underneath the lips and around the sides of the mouth. And I'm basically just gonna be working in an upward direction. So again, this concealer is really luminous on the skin. It's very hydrating. It also contains vitamin E, which is really nourishing on the skin. And it contains glycerin and caffeine, which is amazing for underneath the eye area because it really wakes up the under eyes. Another thing I really love about this concealer is that you get 24 hours of hydration. And I feel like, you know, concealer tends to get cakey, it tends to get dry throughout the day, but I never have that problem with the Luminous Silk products. And then just blending this around the sides of the brows and then up to the center of the forehead, just kind of overlapping the shading that we did. To set the under eyes, I'm just gonna be using a little bit of my Kevyn loose powder. To really extend the glow on Megan's face, I'm gonna be using my Armani Luminous Silk powder in the shade number 4. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it with my Armani blush brush and just kind of sweep this across the forehead and basically just working this around the contour. You can actually use this alone directly onto the skin or on top of foundation to really extend the glow. And it also contains blurring properties, which is really nice because I feel like most powders actually show texture, but this one helps to blur. To set the contour, I'm gonna be going with the same powder, except for this one is a darker shade. This is number 9. And I'm gonna be using my Armani contouring brush, which I am obsessed with because this makes contouring like a dream. And I'm gonna start on the side of the face and I'm just gonna bring this into a C shape. And it really does all the work for you. And then I'm just gonna basically bring this right underneath the jawline and then also blending this down onto the neck. And then just following the perimeter of the forehead and bringing this down as well. And one of my favorite things to use is this brush right around the nose because it just makes it so easy. Kind of blend this in an upward direction into the brow hair. And then you can go back in with the lighter shade and just kind of bring that right over the entire area just to make sure that everything is nice and blended. For blush, I'm gonna be using the shade Mykonos by Buxom Cosmetics. So I usually have my clients smile just a little bit so I can apply it right above the apples of the cheeks for a more lifted look. And this shade is more on the coral peachy side, so it's perfect for that summer glow. Just brings color back right into the face. Now that the face is set, I'm gonna go back to the eyes for just a moment and using a damp blending brush, I'm gonna use the shade Stacks in the inner corner. So that way we can apply this nice and wet and it really sticks to the under eye really well. To smoke out the under eyes just a bit, I'm gonna be using the shade Rich Rich and Teddy mixed together. And I'm just getting right underneath the lash line to make sure that there's no gaps, starting from the outer corner and then slowly just bringing my brush in an inward direction. So that way you get more of a faded out look and the bronze and this brown shade is nice and overlapped. For brows, I'm gonna be using my Patrick Chow Brow Wax in the shade Clear, and I just got it a little bit damp and I'm just brushing in an upward direction, and then we're just gonna let this dry and come back to brows. So for brows, I'm gonna be using the shade Soft Brown from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I went ahead and did it on her left brow so you guys can see the difference. So I always like to start kind of like in the tail end of the brow so that way you don't have too much product towards the inner. So just using a really soft hand, I'm just basically making strokes of hair in an upward direction and just kind of feathering this up and outward, and then using whatever wax is left over, just kind of brushing that through. And as you can see, I'll make a few strokes and then I always brush as I go just to make sure that everything looks nice and blended and that you don't have any thick patches of product. For mascara, I'm gonna be using my Armani Beauty Eyes to Kill mascara. This has been a staple mascara in my kit for years. I know you guys see me use this all the time. I just love how lengthening this mascara is, and I feel like I get maximum volume from it as well, but it never looks clumpy. And I'm just gonna do a light layer on the bottom. Just wanted to show you guys the difference before I do the other eye. So much volume on this eye, nice and lifted. For lips, I'm gonna be using my GIORGIO Armani Smooth Silk Lip Pencil in the shade 6. I feel like these bronzy eyes would go perfectly with a bold lip. And I'm basically just following the natural shape of her lips and then just filling in completely so that way this lip really stays on all day. All right, fam, you made it this far. To enter the giveaway, all you have to do is comment a red heart down below. I'll be picking 3 winners to win the entire Armani Luminous Silk collection. The winners will be announced in my next video description, so check back soon and good luck. To top off the lips, I'm gonna be using a new product by Armani. This is the Lip Power in the shade 400. This is actually more of a true classic red, but I feel like it blends perfectly with the red orange. So basically this red orange is gonna peek through. And I'm just gonna go directly on the lips with this one and just kind of glide it across the lips. So this is more of a satin texture, so it's gonna have more of a pillowy-like feel on the lips. Really comfortable to wear throughout the day, and it has a very long wear. And just to line a little bit tighter, I'm gonna use my Armani lip brush. I love how radiant this texture looks on the skin. It has a really nice glow, and I feel like it really complements the texture of the skin too. So that's a wrap on today's look. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to comment the secret emoji down below in the comments and follow my channel for more makeup content and inspo. And also make sure to tag me on IG when recreating my look so I can see you guys, show love, and support your work. And I'll see you next time. A life of ease is not the pathway to growth and happiness.